These people are amongst the greatest quiz players in Britain. Together, they make up the Eggheads, the most formidable quiz team in the country. The question is, can they be beaten? Welcome to a special celebrity edition of Eggheads, the show where a team of quiz challengers attempt to beat the greatest quiz team in Britain. Here they are, the Eggheads. And today's fearsome foursome are Chris, known as the Steamroller, Barry, Beth, and Kevin, the Almighty. Taking on the Earth's mightiest quizzers today are the Egg Noodles. Now, this team of some of the country's finest comedians are never short of an answer when dealing with hecklers. But when it comes to tackling the Eggheads, will their quizzing be as good as their punchlines? Let's meet them.
Hi, I'm Ria Lena, and I'm a stand-up comedian and actress.
Hi, I'm Charlie Higson, and I'm a writer and performer.
Hello, I'm Alistair McGowan. I'm a stand-up comedian, impressionist and sort of pianist.
Hello, my name's Ed Byrne and I'm a stand-up comedian, and if you don't think I'm funny, you can just put quotes around the word comedian.
Ria and team, welcome.
Hi.
Very excited to see you. Ria, you've appeared on my Channel 5 morning show, right?
I have.
So this is slightly different. Are you a quizzer?
I do like a bit of a quiz.
So when you all came together, what sort of subjects, how do they break down? Who took what? Did you plan it?
Oh, we're comedians. We never plan anything.
Charlie, what's going on?
Well, I mean, the team, we've probably all got the same things that we're good at and the same things we're bad at, so it's a luck of the draw what questions come up.
Alistair, you play a lot of piano,
Yeah.
right? Music, I'm thinking. Music, classical, probably?
Yeah, absolutely, classical music, but then if you go into anything beyond about 1965, I'm completely lost.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm the exact reverse. I can only do it after 65.
Yeah.
How about you, Ed? Special subjects for you, for the comedian in you?
I think we discussed it, and music might probably fall into my purview.
And when you get together, do you get competitive, Ria? Will you be trying to beat each other in some way?
No, of course not. Never. We're very happy working together on this.
It's communal.
Team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the show, we'll probably have to have a discussion about which one of us gets to do 5 minutes on that time we went on Eggheads.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't share, of
And you
course.
can do the impression of Jeremy Vine, of course.
Yeah, it's
Do we unleash that later on?
It's not me, no. Lewis MacLeod does you so well, Jeremy.
Yes.
Begin to even think about doing it, but let's talk about it later on, see how we get on.
OK, this is going to be great. Every day there is £1,000 worth of cash up for grabs for our challengers' chosen charity. However, if they fail to defeat the Eggheads, the prize money rolls over to the next show. So, Egg Noodles, the Eggheads have won just the last game against their celebrity challengers. So there's £2,000 for your charities if you win today. Shall we get cracking?
Let's.
Are you ready? OK, first head-to-head battle, happily enough, is on music. So, challengers, who wants music?
Should I
What
take
do you
it?
think?
I
I
think
think
you should take
you
it.
should.
Yeah.
You'll have a
Right.
better
You
all-round
wanted
Give it a whirl.
knowledge than me.
It's anything after sort of 2005, I'm pretty much out. But,
OK, I haven't yet had a look at the question, so I'm worried immediately. Against whom? You've got all four. You've got Chris, you've got Barry, you've got Beth, you've got Kevin. They're all impressive.
Should we say Chris?
Ed from the Egg Noodles, Chris from the Eggheads. To ensure there's no conferring, please take your positions in our legendary question room. Ed, I reckon you like to quiz.
I do. I'll tell you what, before your show on Radio 2 is Ken Bruce, and I religiously listen to Popmaster, and I've scored everything between 3 and 36.
Wow,
On that,
because there's a whole thing about people stopping for Popmaster. I think about a year ago, people at Radio 2 realised that half the country was stopping to listen to this quiz. I mean, it's a brilliant quiz. It's been going for years.
And during lockdown, like, I'd be texting my mother and my sister, we'd be texting each other with our scores.
Terrific. 3 multiple-choice questions, Ed, on music. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Here we go. Which of these stage musicals is set longest ago? Joseph, Godspell, or Jesus Christ Superstar?
Well, Godspell and Jesus Christ Superstar are obviously they're both set around the time when Jesus was around, whereas Joseph, that story predates Christianity. That's Old Testament, isn't it? I think it's Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah, you're right. Bang on. He was Old Testament.
I'd say that's more of a religious question than a music question.
Well,
but,
there
quite
is
happy with
music in
myself.
Joseph. Yes, you did very well there. OK. Chris, Rick Parfitt and Francis Rossi are best known as members of which rock band? Genesis, Status Quo, or ELO?
It's status quo, Jeremy.
You are absolutely right. So, one each. Back to you. Ed, the magic number, released in 1989, was a UK hit single for which rap group? NWA, De La Soul, or Beastie Boys?
That was De La Soul, and the magic number in question was 3, I seem to remember.
Nicely done. De La Soul is right. Egghead, over to you. In July 2022, what became the first album to sell over 7 million copies in the UK? Was it Definitely Maybe, Sgt. Pepper, or Queen Greatest Hits?
Well, Sgt. Pepper was re-released, wasn't it? No, of course it. Sgt. Pepper.
Queen Greatest Hits, Chris.
Well.
Selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Ed is ahead, and you can get into the final with a correct answer here, Ed. The Flight of the Bumblebee is a famous piece of music by which composer? Is it Rimsky-Korsakov, Prokofiev, or Tchaikovsky?
Now, this is one that Alistair probably would know. I'm throwing a dart at this. I'm gonna say Rimsky-Korsakov.
I'm going to check with Alistair. Alistair?
He's correct. I didn't know any of the other ones, but I knew that one. So well done, Ed.
That's brilliant. Rimsky-Korsakov is correct, so well done, Ed. You're in the final with 3 out of 3. No way back for Chris. Chris is knocked out. Please return to us and we'll play on. OK, as it stands, the challengers haven't lost any brains. This is a good start under Ria's captaincy here, and the next subject is arts and books. What happens now? Arts and books.
I could go for that.
I think that's a...
You said you were good at
Shall I do
that. Yeah, I
go
think
for
you
it?
should
You
do
want to
Yeah.
go?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Charlie. OK, let's see what whether you can make a quick work of the egghead you're up against. It's either Barry or Beth or Kevin.
I was going to say Beth, maybe.
I will happily take on Beth.
Charlie from the Egg Noodles against Beth from the Eggheads. To ensure there's no conferring, please take your positions. Good luck, Charlie. You're also a veteran of Celebrity Mastermind.
I've done it twice, yes. Yes, and I didn't win either.
But that never matters. But what were your subjects in that?
Well, the first one was James Bond, and I chose that because at the time, it was the only time in my life I've had a specialist subject because I was researching. I'd been hired to write a series of books about the young James Bond, so I was fully immersed in the world of James Bond. So
You're very modest because your Young Bond series has sold over 1 million copies in this country alone. I think it's rivaling Queen's Greatest Hits at the moment. So, is that at an end, or is there always another Young Bond?
well, it was such fun being part of the James Bond world, and never say never again.
So, listen, good luck in this round. Arts and books. God, it's too much to hope that Fleming comes up, isn't it? Would you like to go first or second, Charlie?
I think I'll let Beth go first.
Here's your question. With which branch of the arts is Seamus Heaney most closely associated, Beth? Is it poetry, theatre, or painting?
He won a Nobel, I think, for literature, and he's a poet.
He is indeed a poet, so it's poetry, yes. Oh, this is great. You'll love this question, Charlie. Captain Hook, James Bond, and Bertie Wooster all attended which school? Was it Eton College, Rugby, or Westminster College?
Well, I obviously should know that one, and it's lucky it came up, and it's lucky I asked Beth to go first. So, yes, it was Eton College.
Yeah, I mean, having written the Young Bond books, that's about the best question you could ever have, yeah.
I know. If I got that one wrong, I would never be able to show my face in public again.
Eton College is right. Well done. It's a very happy moment. Beth, the play Journey's End by R.C. Sheriff is set during which war? Is it the Boer War, World War I, or World War II?
This is a bit of a stab in the dark. I think the First World War? Sorry, World War One.
World War I. Any of our challengers know this? Is she right?
She's right, yeah.
Yep. Alistair says yes, you are right. World War I. Beth is right. OK, she's ahead. To catch up, here's your question, Charlie. The insane Bertha Mason is a character in which novel? Wuthering Heights, Jane Eyre, or Pride and Prejudice?
I don't think it's Pride and Prejudice. I know there is a mad woman in the loft in Jane Eyre, but I think that's Mrs. Rochester. So I will go for Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights is your answer. So Bertha Mason, who's insane, is in which novel? Any challenges now here?
Pretty sure it's Jane Eyre.
Yeah, it is Jane Eyre, but I would have said The Loft and Rochester. So what are we missing here? Eggheads.
It's the same person.
It's the same person?
Bertha Mason is Mrs. Rochester.
I see. Bertha Mason is Mrs. Rochester. Okay. So Beth is ahead and can take the round with this. The French artist Georges Braque was one of the two main pioneers in the development of which style of painting? Surrealism, Cubism, or Expressionism?
Oh, this is quite easy to go wrong, I would say. I think Braque. If I can remember, picture some Braques, they're quite angular, square, not particularly dreamlike. And I think he worked with Picasso on Cubism.
Yeah, it is lots of squares. Cubism is right. Beth has the round with 3 out of 3. I'm so sorry, we've lost the challenger there. Is that a big moment? We shall see. We'll be back shortly. See you after this break. Welcome back. As it stands, the Egg Noodles have lost 1 brain from the final round. The Eggheads have also lost a brain. We're completely level here. The next subject is politics. Challengers, this is our last subject before the final. Who would like this, Ria or Alistair?
Everybody assumes I know about politics because I'm an impressionist, and I don't. It's Rory Bremner's always done that, and they always think impressionists, politics, and I just don't.
How interesting.
Left it all to Rory, it's not my
Okay.
I guess it's on me.
Captain Ria against either Kevin or Barry.
Barry.
All right, Ria from the Egg Noodles, Barry from the Eggheads, and to ensure there's no conferring, please go to our question room for the last time. So, tell us about you and your comedy and where you love to perform, Ria.
A stage to people. I think that's it. You know, we go on stage to get the love we didn't get as a child. Although that said, hi, Mom, hi, Dad, I love you.
Is that right? Were you performing from the age of 2 or something?
I was thrown on stage and they couldn't get me off. I realized as a young, when I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that, I realized that all you want is the attention, I thought. That wasn't even a full sentence. I'm really nervous about this topic. Can I be clear?
Well, is politics not your thing?
Not really my thing. I mean, is it anybody's thing? I think politics is the type of subject, if it's your thing, you shouldn't be in it.
All right, 3 questions on politics. I'm sorry for the way that the cookie has crumbled here, Ria. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first. Let's just get this over with.
OK, here we go. Good luck against Barry. Someone who does not consistently vote for the same political party is commonly known by what name? Are they a bobbing voter, a drifting voter, or a floating voter?
Okay, none of those were the word I had in my head. I'm going to go with a floating voter, just because the Brits are wonderful with words and puns, and that strikes me as the phrase that they would use, as floating voter. It's got that lovely assonance going through it.
Let's check with Barry.
Perfect.
Good. You're right. I'm very relieved on your behalf there, because if you got it wrong, you'd be seeing that phrase everywhere.
I would.
For years.
Well, yeah.
Barry, your question. Which of these is the name commonly used to mean the Scottish Parliament? Stormont, Senedd, or Holyrood?
Well, being Scottish myself, I can't possibly get this wrong. It was Holyrood.
Holyrood is right. 1 each. Ria, back to you. Since World War II, how many British Prime Ministers have been in office for more than a decade? Is the answer 2, 3, or 4?
Well, I know that Churchill was about a bit. Definitely Margaret Thatcher. And then I'm trying to think more recently, how long was Tony Blair in office? I'm going to say 2.
So you've mentioned Thatcher, who was 79 to anybody when she fell?
91?
91.
1990.
90, was it? Okay.
Blair's another. Can you find another? Anyone?
No.
Nope.
No, you're right.
Really?
Yeah. Thatcher and Blair. OK, Barry, your question. Which of these countries is a member of the European Union? Norway, Romania, Switzerland?
European Union. Well, it's not Switzerland. And I think Norway are in EFTA. I don't think they're in the EU, so I think it's Romania.
It is Romania. You're right. So this is your next question.
Okay.
Liz Truss became the MP for which constituency in 2010?
Oh, no.
Liz Truss. Richmond in Yorkshire, Uxbridge and South Ruislip, or South West Norfolk?
Okay. I thought that Boris Johnson was in Uxbridge and South Ruislip. I remember him being sort of in that area. So I think it's either Yorkshire or Southwest Norfolk. Oh, Yorkshire. Richmond, Yorkshire.
Richmond, Yorkshire is your answer. So it was down to 2 in that race for Prime Minister that we had, and the 2 were Liz Truss and the other guy, the former Chancellor, Rishi Sunak. The one you've chosen is his constituency.
No.
Funnily enough. Uxbridge, you're right, is Boris Johnson's.
So that
She's
one-
Southwest
she's
Norfolk. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Barry, you can take the round with this. In a 1783 letter to Sir Joseph Banks, the president of the Royal Society, which politician wrote, "There never was a good war or a bad peace"? Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, or Alexander Hamilton?
It sounds exactly the sort of thing Benjamin Franklin would say, so I'll go for Benjamin Franklin.
What do you think, Eggheads?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Benjamin Franklin is the right. I'm sorry, if you give them just a little bit of daylight, they strike. Rhea, I'm so sorry, you've been knocked out. Barry, come back to us. We will play the final round for £2,000. So, exciting contest. This is what we've been playing towards. It is time for our final round, which, as always, is general knowledge. But I'm afraid those of you who lost your head-to-heads aren't going to be in this round. So it's Rhea and Charlie from the Egg Noodles. But it's also Chris from the Eggheads. Would you please now leave the studio? So we focus now. Alistair and Ed playing to win the Egg Noodles, £2,000 for their chosen charities. Barry, Beth and Kevin, you are playing for something that money can't buy, the Eggheads' reputation. As usual, I will ask each team 3 questions in turn. Gentlemen, they're all general knowledge. You can confer, we always say. So in this final round, I wish you well. And we'll see if your 2 comedy brains can defeat these 3 serious ones. So Alistair and Ed, do you want to go first or second in the final round?
Yeah, we'll go first. It puts the pressure on them. You know, it's scoreboard pressure, so we'll do that.
OK, here is your question. Egg Noodles. What is a dandy dinmont? Is it a type of potato, a dog, or a dance?
You're frowning, but I actually know that.
Oh, you do?
I watch Supervet all the time with Noel Fitzpatrick, and I know that he's done operations with the bones of a dandy dinmont, and it is a little dog.
Is that right? Eggs?
I can't even. I don't even know if that's a good impression. I don't watch it.
Eggs?
Yeah, he's right.
We like it. Yeah, you're right. Well done. A dog. Eggheads. Which Andrew Lloyd Webber musical is based on a work by Gaston Leroux? Cats, Sunset Boulevard, or Phantom of the Opera?
Phantom of the Opera?
It's Phantom of the Opera.
That's the correct answer. Your question. Just keep plugging away here, comedians. Which man famously talked of a quarrel in a faraway country between people of whom we know nothing in 1938? Winston Churchill, Neville Chamberlain, or Franklin D. Roosevelt?
It's got to be Franklin D. Roosevelt.
It must be, mustn't it? Because
Like
it's not.
Neville Chamberlain, it was the peace in our time.
Yeah.
Was the famous quote.
And they knew the country very well. And,
And it was not that far away.
OK, we'll go with that. We're going to go for Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Eggheads.
This was the Sudeten crisis, where the Germans wanted to take over the Sudetenland, the German-speaking part of Czechoslovakia. It was actually a speech that Chamberlain made before he then subsequently went to meet Hitler, which wound up with the Munich Agreement, which is when he then came back and the peace in our time job.
Yeah, so it was Neville Chamberlain and it led to him
Well, Your Honour, new
down.
evidence has come to light.
All right, Eggheads, you have an advantage here if you get this one right. Which of these is a type of hormone produced in the human body at times of great stress? Dopamine, cortisol, or thyroxine?
It's cortisol.
Happy with cortisol?
Yeah.
It's cortisol.
Cortisol's right. So the Eggheads are ahead. You've got to get this one right, Egg Noodles. Which superhero persona did Dick Grayson take on after deciding to no longer be known as Robin? Is it Nightwing, Cyborg, or Beast Boy?
I have no idea.
It's not Cyborg.
No. Do you know these things?
No. Do you know what? My kids watch Teen Titans Go. Beast Boy can transform into different animals, which Robin cannot do. And Cyborg is a cyborg, which Robin is not. It's got to be Nightwing.
Nightwing.
You may have been placed here just for that one question and answer. That was brilliant, Ed. Nightwing is correct. Now listen, if you get this right, Eggheads, you've ended the contest against our brilliant comedians. Here is your question, your third question. In which field did Red Adair find fame in the 20th century? Archaeology, firefighting, or computing?
Firefighting? Putting them out?
Well, whatever else he did a lot of firefighting.
Yeah.
So
I hope he didn't start them rather than he was just putting them out.
he was famously a fighter of fires in oil fields and other major life-threatening situations. So it's firefighting.
I remember him being on the news, but yes, it was something to do with an oil rig. Is the answer firefighting? If it is, the contest is over. The comedians, the brilliant Egg Noodles, will be leaving the studio as losers, which we do not want. Red Adair was in firefighting. You're right, we have to say congratulations, Eggheads, you have won! Did you have a Red Adair memory?
Didn't John Wayne play him in a movie? Am I
Did
right
he?
on that? Yeah.
Yep, did.
Really?
Yeah, John
Well,
Wayne
there was an
played him.
overlap, was there? I always think Wayne was...
Yeah, it's not that long ago that Red Adair died. I mean, well, John Wayne died by the end of the 70s, so it's not that long since Red Adair died.
Commiserations, challengers, the Eggheads have done it. They've done that thing that seems to come naturally. It means you haven't won the £2,000. The money rolls over to our next celebrity show. And we say, well done, Eggheads. Let's see. I think the last celebrity series you won in 19 out of 20. So they're hard to beat.
Yep.
And you've played a great game.
We didn't expect to get to the final, and to get to a final against a team of this calibre, you know, for a team like us, we're really very happy. And going forward, we hope that other comedians, other celebrities will do as well as we've done. Gareth Southgate, in case you're wondering, it's not a bad David Beckham. It was Gareth.
That was very, very good. OK, thank you so much for coming in. All of you, Charlie, Rhea, Ed, Alistair, brilliant to see you. Join us next time to see if a new team of celebrity challengers can win, but more importantly, can give us as much fun as this team today. There'll be £3,000 to play for. Till then, goodbye.
It's the sitcom that makes Paul Merton guffaw out loud, him and millions of others, celebrating One Foot in the Grave, 30 years of laughs, brand new tonight at 9. Next, a battle to beat the boy racers and a hunt to find an escaped convict in Motorway Cops Catching Britain's Speeders.